So a ship is sailing towards lighthouse L. From the ship, the angle between the lighthouse and a buoy is 42 degrees. Yeah, lovely stuff. The distance between the lighthouse and the buoy is 350 meters. From the buoy, the distance to the ship is 285 meters. Find the angle formed at the lighthouse. So basically this angle here. Find the angle formed at the lighthouse. Give your answer to 1 decimal place. So I suppose to me here, a bit like Shakespeare, I'd often ask, I don't even know if I'm spelling Shakespeare right here now, to sign or not to sign? That is the question. To sign or not to, and I suppose instead of saying sign, I should be saying S-A-N-E, or not to sign. That is the question. You get me there? So I'm going to check it if we use the sign rule first of all. And the sign rule first of all says, have I got an angle and a side opposite it? So I'm just going to fly these down here very quickly. Bang. Oh, mother of God. Sorry, got stuck there. So, back in the game here now. So just going to replicate that. Going to replicate this one again. So they're supposed to be replications of that. We've got 42 degrees. So first question. Have I got an angle and a side opposite it? Yes, I do. All day long. Happy there. Have I got an angle and a side opposite it? Then, to check now if it's a sign rule, I need to carry out one more test. I need to check, because we're going by the ratios here. So I'm looking for this angle up here. Do I have the side opposite it? Do I have the side? And you can clearly see there that we have 285 opposite it. Lovely stuff. So that's 350 meters, not degrees, sorry. So, and that's it. Basically, it's definitely the sign rule. Now, your tip is this. In your log tables, you go to your log tables there, and I think it tells you the formula. But we want to find the angle, so we're going to put the angle on top. So it's angle, in short, angle over opposite side is equal to angle over opposite side. And being clear about that. Now, if I was looking for a side, I'd be putting the side on top. It'd be side of the opposite angles, it was side of the opposite angle. We're looking for an angle, so looking for angle, put the angle on top. So put angle on top. So these ratios can be swapped, because think about it, a half is equal to 2 quarters. Let's switch both of them. 2 over 1 is equal to 4 over 2. Still the same thing. So this really means sine of the angle over the opposite side, and I didn't need to write that top one, but I just wanted to show it, is equal to sine of the angle and the other triangle over the opposite side. And we've already worked out all of these. So start filling in. Sine of the angle 42 over the opposite side, which is 350, is equal to sine of the angle, and that's the angle we don't know. So the unknown is on top here. This is what makes it much easier to work out. So what we do next is, right, we've got a fraction over here. We want to kill that fraction, so we can just isolate the sine of the angle. So I'm going to multiply by its denominator. I'm going to multiply by 285. If I do that, I will be left with the sine of the angle, right? So sine of the angle is left. Now if I multiply one side by 285, I've got to balance this out by multiplying the other side by 285. Again, I'm putting this in dotted format to kind of symbolize that this was the lead one here. I'm eliminating this fraction by multiplying by its denominator, and then because I multiplied this side by 285 to balance it out, I'm going to multiply this side by 285. So this is where the calculator comes in here. You get your calculator and you say 285 multiplied by sine of 42 over 350. Right, so let's get the calculator up there, and we're going to say, bring it up there a bit, so that is 285 multiplied by, or just put in your brackets, it's fine, sine of 42, goes off that bracket, go down below, over 350, and I'm going to close off the overall bracket, and press equals. So I'm going to leave this in the tank now here, but that's 0.5448. Sorry, 0.5448 dot dot dot, because I'm not finished. That is what sine of the angle is. And every operation in maths is an inverse operation. The opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of squared is square root. The opposite of sine is sine inverse, or the inverse sine, or sine of -1 if you want to just kind of learn off the English of it. But it's the inverse of sine, and that's what's going to get rid of that, leaving me with theta. Okay, but if I take the sine inverse of one side, I must take the sine inverse of the other side as well. Now, I already have this in the tank from my calculator there, 0.5448. I'm going to make use of that now, and watch how I do that. So I'm just going to go shift and sine, which will bring me up the sine inverse. Then I press my answer, close the bracket, press equals. I get 33.015. And that question probably said to the nearest centimetre or something. No, 1 decimal place. So to correct to 1 decimal place. So again, identify 1 decimal place. Look at the digit on the right, which is going to decide whether my answer is going to be 33.0 or 33.1. And you can clearly see here that we're going to get 33.0 because 5 to 9 climb the vine, 0 to 4 slide to the floor is equal to theta, 33 degrees. But really 33 degrees there is theta.